Oh, this car. Come on, girl. Yes, sir. Snow makes it quiet as ever. All right, guys. I haven't made one of these videos in a while. We made a like kind of update video, kind of stuff like that. Been kind of busy with projects and just kind of haven't had much to update you guys on. I had a guy comment on, I don't know what video it was a little while ago, and he had mentioned how he hasn't seen an update on the show in a while. And I had known I haven't given an update on the show in a while, but I had kind of, I don't want to say forgotten, but I kind of had forgotten that people were still subscribed to me from the show, because I do a lot of Ram stuff and a lot of racing stuff and all that kind of stuff, like a lot of truck stuff, a lot of different kind of stuff. And I'd kind of forgotten that some of you guys were comment or were subscribed for the show. So you guys deserve me to give you an update. Lately, honestly, kind of since, if you guys haven't seen the video when we tore the like interior out of this car, ever since then, I've really mentally and internally had this car on the back burner. I always knew about it. I always knew I needed to do stuff with it, or kind of figure out a plan with it, or stop taking on projects because I want to get this one done. But in my head, I knew it was such a hassle and such a like big project that I didn't want to deal with it. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was so like, I'm just gonna put it to the back of my head. I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. Well, it's becoming later. Lately, ever since that guy commented on the video, hey, what's going on with the show? I've been doing some thinking on it. Here's kind of where I stand with the car. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know I've been sticking money into the truck and doing kind of more like drag racing, street kind of stuff. And that's always what I've been wanting to do. And I kind of started getting into it. This car is not something that I was ever going to make fast. It was never going to be like a drag car. Obviously, it's a front-wheel drive Ford Taurus. It's a small V8. It's slow, whatever. But it's still cool to me. And it was still my first car, all that kind of stuff. So where I kind of stand with the car is, I'm going to explain, but I don't want some of you guys to skip through the video, or I don't want some of you guys to be like, oh, he's getting rid of it, I'm getting off. So I don't think I'm going to fix this car, but I am going to get another one and make it exactly how I would have made this one. And here's the reason. For some of you that might not know, I have a couple reasons why I'm not going to fix this car, but let me just show you one of them. Now, obviously, you guys saw the beginning of the video, like it's snowing out and stuff. It's like it's a winter wonderland here, so I'm not going to get out and walk around the car. But look at this. I could Fred Flintstone this thing. I'm gonna be honest. This car needs so much work. And I don't really care that it needs so much work. It's not that I'm not fixing it because it needs so much work. But I don't want to fix it because it needs so much work, because it's not the work I want to do. It's not even about the value. Like, I don't care that I'd be spending more than the car's worth. I don't want to sit here and spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to strip this car down, put it on a rotisserie. I mean, that hole I showed you is not the only hole in this car. That strut tower back there, I've got the interior stripped out in here. It's all sitting in here. But there's a strut tower back there that's literally like the strut's gonna come through the car. And that's not that bad, but it's pretty close. And like underneath the engine bay, it's kind of the same. There's holes in the fender, there's holes in the unibody. The back of the car looks horrible. I mean, I literally was driving it around the parking lot one day at my work, and I blew a brake line because it's just so rusted. This car needs so much work, and it would be different if it was a car that I would like, I want to get ready so that I could race it, or I could like street race it, do kind of stuff like that, but it's not. This car is literally just going to be I'm going to cruise it around. It's a V8 Taurus. It's kind of cool. It sounds cool. It's not fast at all. And people like it because they've never seen one before. That's why I want to keep it. It was my first car, stuff like that. So that's why I eventually do want to get another one, and I'm going to go into detail on that for a minute. But that's why I don't want to fix this car, because it would take so much money to fix something that I have not as much interest in stuffing my money into. And if I would do that, I'm not made of money. So I would be taking away, let's be honest, I'd be taking away years of putting my money into actual street cars and stuff I want to do. So that's kind of my thought on it, is I would have to spend a bunch of money and dump it into something and waste my time and not build other cars and be behind in my life of stuff I want to do. And that's the whole reason. I mean, these holes in the floor, it needs so much work. And it's not even like, it's so rare that there's no parts for it. There's no aftermarket parts for it. Yeah, you can custom make a lot of stuff. Like I could get stuff welded to the floor and cover up the holes and fix the unibody and stuff like that. But then it like comes down to restoration parts for everything else would take a while. And the stuff you do find, it's either like not in the greatest shape, or it's used, or it'd take forever to get to you. And if I could just buy another one, a really, really clean one, this car's already shot, so I could take stuff out of here that I still care about. Like I can keep I already have, I'll get into the engine, the whole, like I have another engine. I'll get into that in a minute. But I could have a third engine. I could take this one out of this car, take the motor and trans out of it. I could take all the interior out of this, kind of keep it mine. I wouldn't take the carpet because the carpet's shot, especially with the hole in the floor. It got soaked and moldy and all that. I'd get new carpet, whatever. I'd take the seats out of it, take the little things that mean a lot to me to kind of keep it mine. Take the motor and trans out of it, take the suspension off of it because I did lower it, put KYB struts on it if they're even good anymore. They've been sitting for so long. But take the struts and suspension out of it. And then, I mean, if anybody wants it, give me a couple $100 and it's yours. Otherwise, I just scrap it because the car is literally a rust bucket. I ruined this car as a kid. It was my first car, and I didn't grow up in a car family, so I didn't really get to appreciate keeping things nice. I never, like, my dad never had fast cars, or no one in my family had fast cars, so I never really understood the, like, don't do this when you're a kid to keep something nice to prolong it so you can have it nice in the future. Like, I'd take this car mudding. I'd take this car, I mean, I drove in the winter all the time. Like, my rockers, dude, my rockers aren't even held on by anything. Look at this. Both sides look like this. It's just not, it's not worth to me to put the money into solely for the fact, again, it's not about the money. I don't care about that, but it's solely about the fact that I know it would never get done. it would sit here because I want to finish the truck, and then I want to buy a Camaro right when the truck's done. And then I also want to finish the Ranger. I don't even know, some of you guys might not even know about the Ranger because that video didn't get a lot of views. But my grandpa gave me his Ranger, and I want to fully restore that because my grandpa gave it to me, and it was the first vehicle I ever drove, and I want to turn that into a little street truck because that's cool. So I just know it would never get done because of how much work it needs. So it's not worth to me keeping around as a lawn ornament to look like crap wherever I put it and have all this work it needs for it to never ever get done. I could just go buy a new, or not new, but a nicer, cleaner one, take my stuff out of it and actually drive it and then do the things I wanted to. Like I'd still put the exhaust on it, I'd still lower it, I'd still put some wheels on it, I'd still put my subs in it and tint the windows and do these little things here and there that I, like my dream show as a kid, and just drive it around. I could take it to shows. I could still drive it around having one in 2 years, rather than dreaming about driving one around, trying to restore the one that I have when it's just so far gone and it's just not worth it. So kind of back to the engine thing. Over 3 years ago, my wife bought me another, it was a 98 Taurus show. She bought me it as a parts car. I took the motor, I took the whole front end out of the cradle. I took the subframe, trans, and motor out of it. And I drove the motor down in pieces to a guy named Doug at Ford Performance Specialists in Atlanta, Georgia. He has had the motor for 3 years. I paid him already. I paid him 2 years ago. He's had it for 3 years. He has never given me an update on it. He's never ever called me on it. Every time I call him, it goes straight to voicemail. So I'm starting to get a little pissed at that. The only reason I've let him keep it for 3 years is because, one, I knew this car was going to take forever, so I didn't really care. And two, I live in a duplex right now. I don't even have a house yet, so I have nowhere to put another engine. My truck barely fits in my garage, so I have nowhere to put another engine. So that's why I didn't care as much. But now I'm starting to get pissed because it's more the principle. It's more like, okay, this guy's took my money, took my engine, and ran. I don't even care about the money. I want my engine back for the principle of it. But nonetheless, I don't even have the motor back yet. I've been calling him lately, haven't got any replies, haven't got any callbacks, haven't got any updates. Every time I call him and he does answer, like 6 or 7 months ago, it was, oh yeah, it's not done yet, sorry, parts, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of the update on this car. We're hoping to get a house this year. And when I do get a house, I can afford to kind of take my parts off of this car and keep them around. And if anybody wants it, they could have it. I don't want to stick the time into this because it would take away from other projects that I want to do. But because I started the channel on this car, and because I started, honestly, my love for cars in the real life on this car, and it was my high school car, it was a V8, and I straight piped it, and it sounded great. Because I did all that with this car, and it's sentimental to me, I want to have another one, and I want to buy another one, and I'm not going to get rid of this car either until I get another one. But this one's too far gone. It needs literally everything. And for me just to spend the years and the thousands of dollars on restoring it to make 235 horsepower in a front-wheel drive car is not worth it. Buying another one, freaking painting it white, putting my suspension on it, and all that kind of stuff, that's worth it to me because I can drive it. It's not rusty, and I can keep it off the salt. I can now afford to keep it, stored and not crap and stuff like that, and keep it nice so that I can drive it around instead of dreaming that one day this car will be done when it's just not realistic. It's just not realistic. I hate to say this. I really do. I was I was so stubborn as a kid, and even a couple of years ago, I was like, nope, I'm not getting rid of this car. I'm going to keep it. And to be honest, I still would be like that if it wasn't for the fact that I literally just want to build cooler and faster cars. And that's not what this car is. This car is a cruiser. So I hope that clears some questions with you guys. I hope that doesn't upset some of you guys and take you away from the channel, but I understand if it does. I'm very much not a person to get rid of cars. I want to be a collector one day. I want to have tens and tens of cars in a garage that I built that are nice and show cars that look great and drive them all. But I'm not made of money, so in order to do that, this car is just kind of a paperweight. And I can only really have one huge project at once, and that's the Ranger for me. My grandpa gave it to me, and I can turn that actually into a street truck and put a V8 in it and lower it and put a stick in it and throw some spray at it and put a 15-inch tire or put a 28 10.5 in the rear and just cruise around it and make it fun. This car you just can't do that with. Still means enough to me to keep the type of car, but this one just, it's too far gone. It's too far gone and it sucks, but it is what it is. So again, I hope that cleared some of your questions up. I hope I got some answers to the people who wanted them. I'm not going to get a new one yet. I mean, they're not very expensive, even the nice ones. I mean, $5,000 for one of these cars is like you're in pretty good shape. The car's in pretty good shape, so I mean, they're not expensive. But here's a quick look around. I mean, there's the inside again. The floor's gone. The rockers are gone. Maybe I can put this up. There's the strut tower. Strut tower looks horrible. The brake line's gone. This trans is shot. I mean, this is what the inside looks like. If the car wasn't in this condition and it just needed some, you know, a motor, trans, whatever, I'd keep it. But it's just not in good shape. So any more questions? You guys comment down below. I'll try and answer them. I'm sure I missed something I wanted to say on this video, but this car does mean a lot to me, and I wish I could keep it, but it's not worth it. So I'll be getting a new one day, like hopefully kind of soon. I'll be getting a new one, strip this one down, take what I want off of it. I mean, if one of you guys wants it, hit me up. It wouldn't have a motor or trans or subframe or suspension or interior, but if you guys want a shell, hit me up. But otherwise, that'll be it for this video. I'm still going to be changing my name, so stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next vlog.